They said I left with nothing. No child, no husband, no hope. But what they never knew is that I walked away with everything they couldn't take. My silence, my scars, and the truth they were too proud to look in the eye. Not every storm comes with thunder. Some come wrapped in family smiles, in the quiet betrayal of those who said they'd stand beside me, and then stepped back when the gossip got louder. I once trusted them, my stepmother, my cousin Amara, even Uncle Jide, the one everyone called the peacemaker. But peace for them meant silence. Silence about the lies, the shame, and the way my ex-husband's family painted me barren, when the truth was buried deep in hospital files they never dared to open. Uncle Tunde, he was the one I missed the most. He was my dad's cousin, always there when no one else was. After my parents' plane crash, he became the voice I could cry to, the calm in every storm. These days he lives abroad, receiving palliative treatment. We only speak occasionally, usually when I need a familiar voice to anchor me. But even from thousands of miles away, he still feels like the only piece of family that never failed me. After the divorce, I tried to stay, for dignity. But their whispers burned louder than the memories in that house, so I packed nothing but a handbag and left in the rain. Not one of them offered shelter, only sarcasm dressed like concern. Weeks passed, then months, then a message came. Come home. Your stepmother wants to see you. I hesitated. I almost deleted it, but something pulled me back. So I returned, not as the broken woman they expected, but as a woman who had survived their silence. The family home still smelled the same: fried oil, floor polish, and secrets. Amara opened the door, her fake smile hanging loosely. Anne, see who the wind blew in, she said, scanning me up and down. No husband yet? I smiled, not because it was funny, but because it was familiar. Inside, my stepmother wore a wrapper and a motive. She hugged me like she was proud, but her eyes didn't shine with joy. They shone with curiosity and something else, guilt, maybe. This was the same woman who once told me to kneel before my husband's mother and beg for fruitfulness. Now she wanted reconciliation. We sat. We talked. And when they thought I was soft again, the real reason came out. Adedayo has returned from the US. He's asking after you, my uncle said, pretending to sip tea. My heart paused, then beat again. So this was it. They didn't want me back because they missed me. They wanted me back because he had come back. And suddenly, I was valuable again. I rose slowly, adjusted my scarf, and smiled. I don't wear my past on my sleeve, I said, but trust me, it's stitched into the seams. Then I walked out, leaving their cups full and their mouths empty. Outside, the wind whispered, "Not every knock deserves an open door, and not every family is home." I didn't cry, not this time. I had cried enough for people who never carried my pain, only my name in their mouths, like it was a rumor worth trading. I passed the old mango tree by the street corner, the one where Adedayo and I used to share roasted corn and secrets. I remembered his laugh, soft, disarming. But memory is a cruel magician. It shows you what you had, not what it cost. They never knew the truth behind my silence. They said I was cursed, barren, fruitless. But what they never knew was that the last man I loved, the one they called perfect, was the reason I couldn't carry life. They didn't know about the hospital visits, or how I sat beside him through months of disappointment. What they never knew was that he already knew the truth, that he could never father a child, but he kept it from me. And when I told him I was pregnant, he didn't smile. He didn't hold me. He just stared, cold, silent, suspicious, as if I'd broken an agreement I never knew we made. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed and whispered, "God, if silence is how I survive, let me carry it with strength." And I did, but silence has weight, and mine had nearly drowned me. Days later, Amara showed up at my fashion office. Uninvited, unannounced, unbothered, she walked in with loud chewing gum and a louder mouth. "An, babe, this place is giving. Youssef, you get eyes, Shah?" She looked around like she was hunting for gossip, not gowns. Then, as if casually, "So, Is it true you're seeing that guy from church? That one with the jaguar? I looked up from my sketches. I didn't flinch. Amara continued, An, relax na. You know I'm just asking. Small gist. I smiled, because what they never knew was that behind that smile were the ashes of all the bridges Amara had burned. This was the same cousin who laughed when Adedeo's mother called me a disgrace. The same cousin who sat on my matrimonial bed and said I was too proud to carry a child. Now she wanted gist? Now, let me tell you about my cousin Amara. Everyone thinks they have that one cousin who's loud, flashy, and always in everybody's business. Mine? She wasn't just loud. She was dangerous in silence too. The thing with Amara is, she doesn't come at you with knives. She comes with sugar and a smile. We grew up like sisters, shared birthdays, shared shoes, even shared secrets, until mine became useful to her. She was there when I met Adedale. She was there the first time his mother asked if I'd been checked. She even helped me plan the wedding. But what they never knew was that while I thought she was standing by me, she was already standing with them. She'd come to my house during my pregnancy, with bowls of soup, bags of herbs, and her usual laugh. Just small roots to strengthen you, she said. Don't worry, I asked Mama Zainab. I drank them. I trusted her. Until now. Now that I've started seeing things for what they were, not what I wanted them to be. Later that night, I stood by the window, watching the city lights flicker like forgotten promises. Then came the knock. It was my assistant, holding a small box. No name, no sender. Inside, a necklace. My wedding necklace, the one I left behind when I fled. Attached to it was a note. 5 words. It was never your fault. No signature, no clue. But my heart stuttered, because what they never knew was that someone had finally broken their silence too. I clutched the necklace, not because of the gold, but because someone, somewhere, still remembered the truth. And in that moment, I didn't feel alone. A few days after the necklace arrived, she texted again. Amara, hey babe, can I drop by? I miss your gist. I didn't answer, but she showed up anyway, wearing a peplum blouse, lip gloss too loud, and that same grin she wore to my divorce hearing. She walked into my office like she owned the place. You didn't even redecorate this place for hot girl season? You're still doing grief mode. I didn't laugh. She sat on my chair. My chair. Babe, I've been thinking. I know we've been distant, but you know I love you, right? I looked at her, quiet. Then she said it. So who sent you that necklace? My blood ran cold. I never told her. I hadn't posted it. I didn't even mention it to my assistant. How did you know about the necklace? I asked. She blinked, then smiled. Instagram nah. You probably posted and deleted. You know algorithm can expose anything these days. But I hadn't posted anything, and she knew it. I didn't answer. I just reached for my bag slowly and said, I'm late for a client meeting. Can I wait? She asked, standing. No. I walked her to the door, politely, firmly. As soon as she left, I sat back down, heart pounding. Someone was watching me. Information. And I was done pretending I didn't see it. That night I wrote 3 names in my journal. Amara, Uncle Jide, Adedayo's mother. Underneath I wrote 1 sentence. Not everything hidden is dead. Some things are just buried, waiting to rise. The next day, I went back to the hospital, not because I wanted answers, but because I needed to see if there was anything left to hold on to, any proof that I hadn't imagined the war I lived through in silence. I hadn't been back there since the day I lost the baby. The smell of disinfectant hit me like a memory. The receptionist hadn't changed. Neither had the peeling green paint on the walls. Can I help you? She asked. I was a patient here, years ago. I'd like to access my file. She raised an eyebrow. Name? Eliana Grace, formerly Eliana Grace Ajay. She typed, paused, then frowned. There's a note here. Says your file was transferred. Transferred to where? She clicked again. Private request. By a family member. Clearance code required. I swallowed. Which family member? She looked at me carefully, but before she could answer, the matron walked in. Eliana Grace? She asked. I nodded. She smiled warmly, too warmly. You're the one who came in after the fall. I nodded again. She lowered her voice. I remember you. Quiet. You didn't cry. I smiled faintly. She leaned closer. Not everyone's file gets flagged and sealed like that, you know. That's political level privacy. Who sealed it? She shrugged slightly. You didn't hear it from me, but it had a Jai on it. The uncle. I blinked. Of course. Uncle Jide. Adedayo's uncle. The one who worked in government circles. The one who always smiled a little too widely. The one who used to tell me, some things are better buried quietly, my dear. Don't dig where there's no need. That evening I sat in my apartment, the file request denied, the truth locked away. I stared at the blank page in my journal, then slowly wrote one sentence. I think I know what they did, but I don't know why. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't just hurt. It confuses you. It makes you doubt what was real and what was performance. I was beginning to see the actors, but the script, still hidden. Later that week, I received a second envelope. This one was hand-delivered by a courier with no return address. Inside it was a single photo of Amara at a restaurant, sitting with Uncle Jide, laughing. Across from them, a woman I didn't recognize, but I'd seen her before. Then I remembered. She was the nurse who whispered in my ear, "You'll be fine, Ma." Right before the scan I never received. That was it. I didn't know who sent the photo, but someone, somewhere, was tired of the silence